Hi, I'm Jessie Ahmet, your host of Valley News Now, and I'm here today with Sergeant Nicole Reno. Thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, your time is very valuable, so I do really appreciate it. You've got a really cool event that we found out about, and we just really wanted to share. What a great thing. Come and meet your deputies. We get my little new toy going. The autism and
individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Thank you. Thanks for
IDD
the help
community.
there. IDD communities, individuals with intellectual
and developmental disabilities.
Perfect.
There you go.
And so what a great effort this is. It's to really just bring those communities together to be able to, I'm going to just go right to your flyer here and show the different things that there's going to be. There'll be reduced lighting, there'll be no music, you have gluten and dairy-free snacks, board games, reduced noise, and then you can sign up for the safety jacket, which maybe we'll get back to in a second. So we kind of talked a little bit about the event, but maybe talk about the need for an event like this.
So we have a requirement for the state of Minnesota to teach our officers or deputies about autism.
Okay.
And there isn't a train the trainer per se on that
Sure.
specific event, so I was tasked with creating one.
Wow.
And while I was researching this, I found all these toolboxes for how caregivers could reach out to law enforcement.
Okay.
And I thought, well, I think we should be the ones taking that first step.
That's awesome.
Because so much is in the news about kids who've got lost from wandering and
Yes.
absconding and
Yes.
getting hurt or worse, and we just don't want that, right?
No.
So if we can build that connection and build that bridge prior to a crisis, hopefully we can have a more successful resolution. So I approached my bosses, and they were pretty gung-ho about it
I'm
too.
sure.
So this is our first try at this event, but we're pretty excited.
This is great. So this is the first time, in reading some of your material, the uniform can be intimidating, and it's meant to command respect in that. But even I think for just your neurotypical kids, I often told my kids growing up, that the policemen are here to keep you safe. They are here to be your friend. You want to go to them if you're in a crisis situation. And so how much more when you've got a child that has some different disability or different abilities than other children. And what a great event that you're having so that you can create that familiarity with a person in uniform.
Yeah, and I think if we can just build that connection, I think that promotes understanding. And if we can understand each other, we can serve each other better.
Definitely.
Some kids are drawn to the uniform. They want to touch the shiny badge. They like the patch. But other kids are not so sure. And that goes with adults too. Because it's a lifelong situation.
It is,
so
right.
we want to make sure that we can meet all of those people where they're at and try to make those connections, because we might not connect with them in our typical COP or community-oriented policing opportunities.
Right,
So
because those are typically fun, big fun, big noise, big music.
Lots of people, all the things, and so a lot of our neurotypical people will be there, but people with different abilities and different challenges tend to stay away from them. So we want to be able to let them come to us in a quieter, more controlled environment where they might feel more comfortable.
I love that. That's just so great. Like you said, the more we can understand each other, I feel like that's true in so many different areas. But you sit down and have a conversation with somebody, find out where they're coming from, they find out where you're coming from, and all of a sudden we've built an amazing community.
Yeah, and I think it's great. And I think that we're going to get as much from it, maybe even a little more, than the other community is going to, because we need to grow and learn too. And I think we can take the class that we learned in the classroom and bring it out and understand kind of seeing it firsthand and building those connections, and it'll help us as well.
So much, like you said, learning the thing in the classroom is one thing, hearing, okay, this is how people learn, or this is how somebody might react to this, but actually seeing and having that, real life communication, there's nothing better.
Right.
Yeah, nothing more.
I learned more about autism and the developmental disabilities when I volunteered for Special Olympics than I did going back to high school and all that kind of stuff. You knew it was there, but you didn't quite understand it. And some of my favorite memories are with Special Olympics athletes. They are absolutely wonderful. So
everything, I just love Special Olympics too. It has such a special place in your heart. I feel like now you have another event coming up, so we're going to head over to your website here that has to do with Special Olympics, and this is really exciting. I'm going to let you have the reins here so you can show whatever you would like.
All right. This is our law enforcement torch run. We will kick it off in Moorhead, and then they have one up at the Canadian border and down in Rochester that'll start June 19th. It's always the Monday after Father's Day is when we start.
Cool.
So we will take the first run, and we will literally take the Flame of Hope down to St. Thomas where the state games will kick off.
Cool.
So then athletes from all around the state will come down to St. Paul and have an opportunity to celebrate each other and celebrate their wins, and it's just literally the best environment possible. But we will have our event at 8 a.m. on June 19th, and people can come over to the Law Enforcement Center and run with us. All you need to do is sign a waiver and pay $20 for your t-shirt, and we would love to have you.
That is great. So we can join too.
You can join too. Anybody can join.
And it, again, talking about building community, I think it's so important, and just with everything that has gone on in the last bunch of years, to form these friendships, to just see each other, talk to each other, find out where everybody's coming from, because you do serve, our communities so well, and we want to show that respect, and we want to build those relationships with each other. So when we do see each other in a crisis situation or an emergency situation,
goes a little better.
Right? Hopefully, it will go much, much better than when that's the first time you're meeting and everything's crazy and chaotic. So I love that. So I'm going to back up to your event. I saw something called a safety jacket.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So that is fabulous. So the safety jacket was developed by the North Dakota Autism Center.
Okay.
And in our computer system, we have what's called jackets. It's like a personal information.
Okay.
So if we have interactions with someone, we can know where we've been historically,
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah.
Well, these are so specific that they give us really important information on how to best serve this individual.
Wow.
So it can be people with autism, people with IDD, or really anything where you might have like a crisis situation where we would want to know information. So what are they drawn to? Are they drawn to the badge, or maybe they're scared of it?
Okay.
What are their interests? What are their, do they respond to their name? That's really important because we might take that as a defiant characteristic.
Right.
Or someone who's maybe just avoiding us when really they just don't respond to that.
Yeah.
So we need to know that information as well. So it can give us medical information, really anything that the caregiver feels that is important for us to know to have a good, positive interaction and outcome, essentially.
Because the goal is as simple and as obvious it might seem, but the goal is to help the people. I mean, that's what you're here to do. You're here to serve, to help, and to be able to do that way. I mean, what initiative that you have taken to have that?
We're hoping that this will kind of jump off our point for a safety jacket. It's been around for a really long time, but we have very few people who've taken advantage of it.
Okay.
So we have somebody from the North Dakota Autism Center going to be there to answer the questions, walk people through filling this out and explaining it better than maybe us deputies can do on our own. So
well, I love that you recognize there's specialties everywhere and say, well, okay, well, I'm not the specialty person on this. Let's get the people who are, and let's partner with them and make this happen and make it work correctly.
And they've been terrific to work with. They helped us when we were developing our autism training. They've connected us with different resources, and they've just been a fabulous resource for us. So we really appreciate their working with us.
There's so much going on really in the community. I think so often we think like somebody should do something about that. And it's like somebody is doing something about that, all the time. We just maybe aren't aware. And so I'm hopeful that this platform can help bring some of those things to light and connect community. Because we do have an amazing community right here. But if we can get through those barriers where we don't understand each other, or we we just aren't educated in that yet, then we're gonna thrive so much better.
I agree. I think it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your very busy schedule
to
share. Yes, and we'll have all the details of that. I'm going to put the flyer up again one more time just so you can see that, because we know you're online anyway. Then you can just go right over to the Facebook page. And no sign up, no cost. You just show up when it works for you. And it's May 23rd, 5 to 8 at the Clay County Sheriff's Office, and that's at 911 11th Street North in Moorhead. Thank you again, Nicole. I appreciate it so much. All right.
Great
and as always, yes, thank you. As always, we are on valleynewslive.com. We also have a YouTube channel. Just search Valley News Live and Valley News Now for all of our awesome community interviews. And we've got an app, of course, too, VNL News and VNL Weather, which we have in a little bit of a cold snap today, which I actually kind of enjoy. I'm the weirdo. I know. I live here for the weather. Strange.